Alright, what is up guys? How's it going? So this is going to be our next build guide video for 3.7 Legion. This is my Vaal Rain of Arrows Bow-Zerker. So what we're doing here is we're utilizing the Arborix bow in order to get that more damage multiplier with hits at close range while we have iron reflexes. So we're running that, and we'll just go over the tree real quick so you can understand why. So like I said, we're a Berserker. First ascendancy we took was Aspect of Carnage. Then we came down to Crave the Slaughter, picked up Flawless Savagery, and then came over to Rite of Ruin. So the really good thing about this build is it does everything that Tornado Shot does with a super small fraction of the cost. So we're running Rain of Arrows, Conk Effect, Vicious Proj, increased critical damage, maim support, and brutality. So this is a pure fizz build. Right now we're sitting at about 35k unbuffed in hideout for our Rain of Arrows. Our chest, we're not even running a maim chest or anything crazy like that. It's just normal 6-link with decent life and okay resistances. So nothing crazy on that. So let's go over the tree real quick. Came down, grabbed the life nodes, grabbed some versatility. Came down, picked up Soul of Steel, picked up these life nodes, and then we came down and grabbed Iron Grip. This is going to be really good. This gives us about a 7% damage increase in POB for 2 points outside of our life nodes, so that's super good. We picked up the Hard Knocks points because you do need a little bit of intelligence because this is a crit build, and the crit jewels require a little bit more intelligence than our big old dummy Marauder can handle. So came down here, Jewel Socket, life, more life. Fury Bolts, we are running Rain of Arrows, which is a projectile, so you want to scale that. Came down, grabbed the Vaal Pack. This helps a lot with survivability overall, so I definitely recommend you pick it up along with these. Then we came down here. We are using a Lionized Fall Jewel down in this area. We picked it up point blank because it stacks with our 30 from Arborix. So with this point and running Arborix, anything that is less than 10 units away from you is going to get an 80% more multiplier, right? So that's ridiculous. So we came down here. The Lionized Fall transitions all this to bows. So these are really good, gives you some good accuracy. And then we picked up the Iron Reflexes node, and here's why. So the Arborix cycles. It cycles from having Iron Reflexes giving you more damage to not having Iron Reflexes, which gives you more attack and move speed. So by actually taking Iron Reflexes just permanently, that locks us into the 30% more with this bow, and this thing is nuts. They're pretty cheap. I got this 5-link for less than 40C, and that's why I run my barrage setup for some single target. But running Vaal Rain of Arrows, the barrage only comes into play once you've dropped your 2 charges. Came up here, grabbed Farsight, grabbed the life nodes, more crit wheel right here. Came up, grabbed these. We'll be filling this point out next to get some more crit multi, jewel socket, and then we took both bow nodes. Now, a lot of people who run Lionized Fall will come up here all the way up to the claw node and grab this life and grab these jewel sockets and stuff up here, which also lets you grab these dagger nodes as bow nodes. However, the amount of travel points you spend on it, putting it down here is actually more efficient and nets you more damage and survivability overall by putting the Lionized Fall right here. And I'll put that all in the POB so you guys can see it. But that's the tree right there, guys. As for gear, like I said, we're running Arborix. This is our barrage setup, so we're running barrage, impale support, brutality, greater multiple projectiles, and vicious projectiles. Now, I was playing around with the impale. Impale with barrage on a pure fizz build is very good. However, I wanted to invest some more points into life, so to fully invest in impale, we'd have to take these 3 nodes right here and these impale nodes right here as well, which is going to be a goal once we get much higher level with this character, is to pick those up. But I wanted a little bit more survivability because we are a bow character, and it just makes it play a lot more efficiently and a lot easier. So we are running a Starconjas with the Vaal Rain, or with the Rain of Arrows damage enchant. Very efficient. Highly recommend. These are super cheap. I got this for like 40C. Chest, nothing fancy. Life and resistances, and then we have life and resistances. These crit rings are really good. I actually crafted this vulnerability ring myself. I do recommend this. This makes a world of difference because we can't run punishment. Punishment only works for melee skills, so the only other pure fizz damage scaling we can get other than our flesh and stone and maim is vulnerability. So having that automatically without having to reserve it on a blasphemy or something like that is really, really useful. So highly recommend that. Life resist, fizz damage. I actually crafted these myself as well. I was pretty happy with these. Good life roll, some base crit chance, and cold damage, but any pair of decent gripped gloves with life and resistances will do just fine. Good Stygian, good life roll, some resistances. For jewels, if you're going to be jeweling jewels, you'll want fizz damage to bow attacks, life, and any kind of crit you can get. These can be really expensive, so our crit chance is already pretty high, so if you can just get as much fizz damage and life on your jewels as you can, that'll work just fine. And again, more some move speed, life resists, etc. So for our setup, we're running, in this right here, we're running Blink Arrow. We're taking Drain Bender off for the time being until we can invest fully in support, but I'm still leveling it. Molten Shell, Vaal Molten Shell is extremely important because we are essentially a melee bow build, right? We want everything within those 10 units of us. Molten Shell is really, really important, especially for Legion. Because we picked up Iron Reflexes down here, we are pure armor, so make sure to pick that up and run Vaal Molten Shell. It's freaking awesome. And then faster attacks, just to link to our Blink Arrow. Up here, we're running Precision, increased duration, Immortal Call, and cast when damage taken. The Precision is just in there as a gem holder. Down in our boots, we are running Flesh and Stone, Enlighten that I am leveling, Maim, and Grace. So Grace is extremely good. You always want to run that because that essentially gives you another 2300 armor, because remember, we have Iron Reflexes and we are converting all of our evasion rating into armor. I actually crafted this as well. I've been getting real lucky with my crafts, but these are actually not nearly as expensive. If you just take the crit multi off, these are 20-30C. Fizz damage, crit multi, life, and the mana gained on hit is a nice touch. So there's our gear right now. We are running Blood of the Karuri because we do have over 6,000 life with this build. So normal life flasks, even the instants, aren't really going to do a big deal for saving us. You can just run an instant flask, but I found that this is a nice quality of life. Move speed flask with increased duration. There's our bleed flask. A granite flask is really, really useful because we can pop a granite flask, pop our Vaal Molten Shell, and the Molten Shell takes on the armor of the Granite Flask as well. So with that and Grace, we're getting another almost 5,500 armor when our flask is up, which is crazy. And then a Freeze Flask. So that's the gear, guys. That's the overall build. Right now, we're sitting at level 88. I will go ahead and show you the chance to hit is at 100%. And we're sitting at about a 45% chance to crit without being buffed. So there's the stats right there for our main skill. This is the Vaal Rain of Arrows, and then our Rain of Arrows is right here sitting at about 100 as well with the same crit. So it's very, very fast, and it is exponentially cheaper than Tornado Shot. That is the big point of this. I wanted to do something bow related, but friggin' 30 exalts for a Tornado Shot helm enchant on the Devotos is ridiculous and not really attainable for most people. So like my other builds, I try and make it as accessible as possible for as many people as possible. Cosmetics, for those that you care about this, Arborix has a really cool thing that makes you like metallic, so I found that this combination is dope. We're running Gore Skull and some Carnage stuff. We didn't put any gloves on. Vanguard and Vampiric Weapon Effect. We got our sweet Corsair Monkey, and then we are running our Gore Portal with Vampire Footprints. So just so you guys can see what's going on, we're going to run this park map. The Reflect LE doesn't do anything for us. This is going to be a pretty good example of what you can expect when you're playing this kind of a build. It is quite fast and it is quite fun. So keep in mind, we also are stacking up our Rage. So you can see that going up in the top left. And as we go, it's just going to keep getting crazier. So the way that Rain of Arrows works with the distance from the enemies at close range modifiers that we're using for point blank and for the Arborix is wherever you are when you cast Rain of Arrows, right, compared to the thing that is being hit is how it scales it. So usually if you're shooting a projectile, right, you want it to be about here, right? So that's going to be the general, just past where my aura is kind of pushing out here. It's right about here is where you get the benefit of the Rain of Arrows. So when you shoot Vaal Rain of Arrows, if you're standing within those units of something, that Vaal Rain of Arrows is going to do the 80% more to that mob. So that's how that works for Rain of Arrows. So we're going to run through here. And we also took the knockback, which is super, super useful. So once we get our rage stacked up, we're going to be doing in the ballpark of about 100 and so K per Rain of Arrows shot. And I'll show you guys how that looks on an actual boss. As you can see, we cast Vaal Rain of Arrows, and it pretty much just melts bosses. So that's what I meant when I said you don't really need barrage. But it does come in handy because that does only have a certain amount of charges, and then whatever's left, you can just kind of nuke them down with barrage. Toss all those guys in there, and then I'll show you what that damage looks like on a T12 Park boss as well, just so you guys can see it. When we're going through, nope. So here, this is a good example when barrage comes in handy. Oh man, and I'm being jumped by the syndicate. That's fun. So as you can see, it's pretty survivable even with all the stuff going on. So at the end there, when Jorgen wasn't trying to jump on my face, you can see the single target potential is quite good. Even on rare mobs, you usually get one barrage out and it just melts whatever you hit. So that's the overall build, guys. I'm not going to run through the whole map. You get the idea. So right now you can see how much our damage has gone up with the rage. So we're already at 46 with only 20 stacks, which is extremely good. So as you run through, you get up to that 50 rage, and then you get to the boss, and that's all she wrote. So you can see me melting these guys when they come up. When they're within that 10-meter radius, it just absolutely wrecks their face. So that's the build right there, guys. I'm going to put the POB and all the bosses and all the stuff like that as I do them going through. But there it is, my Bow-Zerker. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, guys. As I progress, I will continue to update the POB, which will be below, as well as all the links and all that jazz. But thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.